like clock. I can't stop. Fuck around, make my 40 pop.
Alright, first things first, if you guys didn't see my last video, you guys should probably go see it. But in that video, I talked about how there is most likely going to be spoilers translated by Organic Dinosaur in the next week. It turns out that it was under 24 hours when Organic Dinosaur actually translated some spoilers. Now, specifically, we're talking about episode 174 and episode 175. In that video right there, specifically, I talked about how episode 175 was supposed to be a very important episode. Since episode 175 spoilers actually came out, we got to figure out some more information about it, and also we got to see exactly what happens between Boruto, Sarada, and Deepa. Now, it's not necessarily going to be definitive or anything like that, but you guys kind of get the temperature of the battle because of these spoilers. Now, I do want to point out, I'm not necessarily going to read the whole spoilers mainly because I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys probably don't want to be spoiled about the whole thing, even though you guys probably want to be spoiled about this one particular thing. So regardless, I'm just going to read about Deepa versus Boruto and Sarada. But again, if you guys want to see the full spoilers, and of course episode 174 spoilers, they were translated by Organic Dinosaur. The links are going to be in the description below. But into the actual spoilers, it says, meanwhile, Boruto and Sarada challenge Deepa and attempt to definitively defeat him in battle this time around. As they expected, he's quite formidable even though they had just undergone some training. Despite having powered up and gotten stronger since back then, their attacks still proved to be completely useless. I ain't gonna lie to you guys, I did not expect this at all. In my last video, I talked about how there was a good possibility that Boruto was actually going to beat Deepa, mainly because of the plot. Of course, we got to see a training arc solely based on Deepa, so I thought the Boruto riders were going to actually do that. But now it seems like that didn't work at all. Of course, no doubt about it, Boruto and Sarada did actually get stronger, but Deepa is literally a different breed. And this is kind of what I thought before when I first seen Boruto create his brand new rasengan. I told you guys it probably would not work on a character like Deepa, and I actually said it probably would affect Deepa, but it wouldn't beat Deepa. But now these spoilers are saying that it was absolutely useless versus Deepa. But of course, I do want to talk about what the spoilers do not say. I don't necessarily want to mislead any of you guys. This is not necessarily a confirmation that Deepa will win. There might be some outside influences. Maybe Boruto and Sarada get some backup from Konohama or somebody else, some outside figure. We have absolutely no idea at this particular point, but from what we are seeing right now, the temperature is that Deepa is going to absolutely demolish Boruto and Sarada, and hopefully he doesn't actually kill them. And I'm pretty sure he's not going to kill them, mainly because Boruto and Sarada is actually the stars of the show. I made it no secret that I didn't want Deepa to be defeated by Boruto and Sarada at all. I think that Deepa is the type of character that deserves a lot more respect than that. So I think that Deepa is the type of character that needs someone like Sasuke to deal with them, that needs a team of like Rock Lee and Shikadai to deal with them, something like that, man, because Deepa is just that good. And not only that, this right here is going to be indicative of everybody else in the Kata organization. What we understand is that Victor and Deepa are the first two people from the inside of the Kata organization that we are actually going to be seeing. Victor, we understand that he wasn't necessarily anything too crazy, but also we kind of understand that Victor was only let into the Kata organization because of what he could actually give the Kata organization, because of his resources. Deepa, on the other hand, I think he's in the Kata organization for strictly battle reasons. Now we have to figure out how strong everybody else in the Kata organization is, and if Deepa is any indication, they're absolutely insane, and especially if we talk about the leader of the Kata organization. But again, going back to possibly if Deepa is not actually defeated in this episode, one of the main instincts and one of the main questions that we're probably going to have is, what are the well-beings of Sarada and Boruto after a battle like this? We understand that the last encounter that they did have with Deepa didn't necessarily go too well with them. They were actually in the hospital for a very long time, and Mitsuki himself, he's pretty much on the brink of death still. So I'm pretty sure in this particular situation, they're probably not going to come out in the best of condition either. And another huge thing is the fact that as of right now, we're definitely in the territory when we have to talk about Sarada's sharingans. Is Sarada going to potentially get a second Tomo sharingan? Mainly because we understand how her progression is in the Boruto manga. We have to understand that Sarada's Tomos are going to start coming in a lot rapidly, and it would not necessarily surprise me at all if in a battle such as this, if she sees Boruto get completely knocked out by Deepa and she herself is not necessarily sure if Boruto is actually okay, it would not behoove me or surprise me at all if Sarada also gets a second Tomo sharingan, potentially saves Boruto, and potentially escapes like that. From what we have seen, there has still not necessarily been a legitimate blow against Deepa. The only blow that we really did see against Deepa is when Mitsuki went into his Dragon Sage mode, and that attack was only so Mitsuki could pretty much escape with Boruto and Sarada. After that, it's been pretty much slim pickings with a character like Deepa. Everything else has been completely useless versus a character like Deepa, and of course, I absolutely love him for that. But in conclusion, I want to ask you guys a couple of questions from what we've seen. Who do you guys think Deepa is actually going to be defeated by? Because of course, we understand that there is a lot of theories out there, and of course, I still want to hear some theories from you guys, who you guys think that he'll actually be defeated by. Of course, we understand at this particular point, it's it's most likely not going to be Boruto and Sarada. So of course, this could potentially be a bunch of other crowd of ninjas, and also potentially an underrated question: how do you guys think that Boruto and Sarada is actually going to escape? Do you guys think that Sarada will actually activate her second Tomo in a battle such as this versus a very formidable foe? And of course, Deepa. But it's been your boy Baara B, and we out.
It's a knife.